I was a career changer. So I was just like super raw, didn't know anything. Always liked money. Who doesn't? Intrigued by it. It was super confusing though. It was always like super elusive and confusing. It's like, are you only seeing the tip of the iceberg, which is like basic budgeting? Don't spend more than you earn.
Yeah.
Save. Like you don't get the why. You don't get the purpose behind it. I basically I burned the ships. I didn't have a plan B. I accepted the role on December 28th, 2019, to join the firm. December 29th, 2019, excuse me, the day after, I had 2 missed phone calls with 2 voicemails from the UW Eau Claire athletic director, because earlier that fall of 19, Eau Claire was launching a men's soccer team in 2021. So they wanted to get a coach in there for 2020, give them a full recruiting cycle to start in 21.
Okay.
And think about like my resume. I was young, so that means I had like grit. I wanted to grow. I was willing to work. They could probably pay me shit, but I'd still do a good job.
Yeah.
I had UW playing experience, like UW system.
Yep.
In-state, and I UW coaching experience. So I recruited kids to UW Whitewater,
right,
which was a very comparable on paper school to Eau Claire.
Correct, right.
And then I had 2 years of like tangible, results-driven, proven head coaching experience at such a young age. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was very attractive on paper. And wanted to interview me. Two voicemails in the span of like 4 hours. Finally played some phone tag, got a hold of them, had to like swallow my pride and like decline, because like I applied for that job. I forgot I applied.
Okay, so you did apply. I was gonna say, how did they even find you? Yeah.
It was like September.
Okay.
Like beginning of the school year.
Yeah.
Like the cutoff was like end of September. November. So all of October, all of November, and then like almost December 29th of December. Like I forgot it.
Yeah.
I'm like someone.
It's been a while. Yeah.
Whatever. But that's when they just started interviewing people. It's like, how would I know? But whatever. And I had to decline it because the day before I just accepted.
Yeah, the day after you started.
But,
yeah.
Part of me thought like I'm really glad I did, because I would have went from living in Watcher, working in Rockford, to I would have had to move to Eau Claire.
Okay, right.
Starting a program and building something was like really attractive to me, but like I just kept thinking about what do I want my life to look like when I'm 30, 40, 50, 60, etc. And like the track of college coaching like just wasn't it.
Yeah.
Just wasn't. For me.
Okay.
Some people it is. Not me. And so I really thought about it, and I shut it down immediately, but I thought about it, I was like, I would have accepted a job making maybe mid-50s, maybe. Getting a club job, so I'm breaking 60 a year. But I'm still running around like a fucking chicken with my head cut off. Because I don't even have a team. I have to you
got to build it.
I got to build it. So that means I'm joining a club. That means I'm gone literally all the time. Because I worked nights and weekends, which is like when you coach kids because they're high school aged.
Yeah.
And they play. So nights and weekends. But I also had a day job, like doing stuff. I had to, you basically ran a business. You had a budget, you had operations, all the above. You're always planning and doing something. And then I had to go recruit kids, which is like 92% of the job.
Yeah, right.
Without a team, you don't have a, you know what I'm saying? So, and I was just always going. I was never home. I was like not happy, kind of miserable. Like it didn't give much to like anything socially, let alone my marriage. And I was just like, there's got to be more than this. This is not okay. So like I just made my way out essentially.
But some people that might be attracted to that lifestyle of like running around if they're obsessed with soccer. I don't know.
Honestly, if I was a single dude, like I don't know if I would have had that push to get out, because I didn't even tell you about my wife. She's my high school sweetheart.
Okay.
The first there's that. Only girl I remember the first time I saw. Fun fact.
Huh.
So But she's a hairstylist. So what I said about I would have to move to Eau Claire, at that point she was 5 years into her career.
Right. And you establish a base here.
And so I'm like, all right, so think about this. Got to sell the house that we just bought, start a new job with a lot of uncertainty. You're not inheriting anything.
Yeah.
You're literally built. You're going to probably have support, but you got nothing. Her reoccurring clientele, say goodbye, got to move that. So she got to rebuild herself. And if we do have kids, like we're 3 and change hours away from family.
Yeah.
Making how much more? Like,
right.
The trade-off just like wasn't there at all for me. So I'm like glad that it didn't work out. Yeah, she's a hairstylist. In 2020, she left the salon. She was working at W2 to go rent a chair. She did that for 2 years. Then she rented a suite for 1 year.
Okay.
Right off Pewaukee Beach, basically.
Okay.
And then, long story short, we've got some space in downtown Oconomowoc and built it out to be a salon. And she's the salon owner of Sandra Grove Hair Salon and rents out chairs. And so, like, she works behind the chair, too.
Yeah, very cool.
She got, like, quote, 2 businesses of, like, renting chairs and then, like, working behind a chair.
Right.
So, yeah, she kills it.
Do they do just hair there or other stuff, too?
Just hair.
Gotcha, just hair. Very interesting. My sister just went back to school to do nails.
Oh, nice.
And she just graduated, so she's in the process of, like, finding a spot to do it type of thing, whether she wants to open her own place and rent out chairs or find a suite type of thing. So
I would advocate for doing something on her own.
Yeah, right.
It's the American dream, dude.
Yeah, that's what she's been saying. And we're like, well, you got to build a clientele, maybe start working somewhere for like a year or two and then
that's what Sierra did.
Branch off. Yeah.
5 years. Probably, I don't know an exact number, but it was more than what she anticipated followed her.
Okay.
Which I think is a testament.
Yeah.
Because the place that she was at in Brookfield, it was they were salon clients. They weren't Sierra clients. So like if Sierra was available, they'd go see this.
Right.
Or something. Yeah. They were a salon client. But it was kind of cool to see like when she moved to renting and then she moved to a suite and then she moved again to opening her own space. Like it's cool to see like the people that followed her. It's kind of like she was like building a following. Right. And like she would leave, people follow. She'd build a following. You leave, good amount would follow. You leave, a good amount. Like it was kind of cool to see it spiral. And yeah, she's 13 years in the game now. Okay. And she's 31. She'll be 31 in June 11th. And she kills it, dude.
Yeah, she's built loyalty, loyal customers at least.
She has a great job.
Were you and her always good at personal finances?
Transparently, I think she's better.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That gets into like the topic of like psychology of money a little bit. So whenever I work with clients, anyone can understand. I want to know the X's and O's, the numbers, income, debt, budget, blah, 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 the numbers, the easy objective stuff. But I always tell my clients who say like, sometimes we're like, all right, so how much? I'm like, well, let's think about this. Let's say you take your car to a mechanic and you pull up and you get out and say, I need you to fix it. He goes, okay. And then you go, so how much? What's that mechanic going to say to you? What's wrong? Yeah. Let's take a look. Like, I have no idea. This might be a $42 oil change. It might be $4,000 for transmission. I have no idea. Right. So that's what I explain to people. But I always tell them, I have no idea how to manage your money. More importantly, manage you. If I have no idea what it's in service to, but also if I know the why behind what you want to do, I will make how we get there meaningful. I will. But I gotta know that. Yeah. Like, you could send me these numbers in a freaking email, dude. Like, that's the easiest stuff to gather. But for some people, like, well, how do I log into my portal to get my statement? Like, whatever. You'll figure it out. Reset your password. I want to know you. Yeah. I want to know how you were brought up. Like, what's your most notable experience with money? Because, like, going back to Sierra is having money, being reliant on yourself. Like, she moved out at 18. And and she came back home for stints, but no longer than like 9 months at a time, maybe twice tops.
Okay.
She was always on her own. So like all she had was her.
Mm-hmm.
So her psychology of money, let alone her upbringing from birth until 18, which is another rabbit hole, dramatically different than mine. I'll right it there. But like how maybe someone might remember at dinner, a common theme was dad was like, all right, $10 budget. So like when you look at the menu, you can't get anything that's more than $10.
Mm-hmm. That
impacts big picture when you're an adult, how you think about money.
Yeah.
How you view it. So like for me, I had and this sounds really bad, but I mean this in the most like complimentary way. I had like such a middle of the road upbringing. Nothing was traumatic. Nothing was overwhelming, over the top amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like very guided.
Yeah.
Very safe. I felt secure. My parents probably didn't. Now that like I'm a mature adult and like know money and get it and stuff, like
mm-hmm.
like 2008, my dad lost his job. I was 15 and joined a traveling soccer team that had like pretty high club fees and then hotels, travel, blah blah. Like, wasn't cheap,
yeah,
you know.
Right.
So I can only imagine what that was like for them. But they always just kind of the blue collar mentality of like, these are the cards we're dealt. How do we get out every ounce of potential?